Hi, thank you everybody for joining us. I'm here with Tammy Fundak. And is that the way to pronounce it, Tammy?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, mine's easy, but people still call me Hagen or whatever.
Yeah.
Or they spell it wrong. They spell it Hagen, which is, whatever. And but Tammy is a huge influence on Facebook. She does her own Facebook Lives frequently, and I would love for her to get a YouTube channel because everyone would listen to her. She's a dynamic speaker and beautiful and such a nice lady.
Oh, you're so
I'm so glad
sweet.
to thank you for being here, Tammy. This is awesome.
Absolutely. Anytime.
And
Anytime.
we don't agree on our theory about what happened in the Watts
No,
murders. I think
no,
Christopher Watts did it all himself,
yeah,
and you don't. So,
no.
do you mind going over your theory and how you came to that conclusion and whatever you've got, throw it at
Yeah,
me.
yeah. No worries at all. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to
Oh,
do this.
absolutely. Oh my gosh,
Um,
I'm so honored.
First and foremost, I want my message out that this isn't about proving Chris innocent.
Right,
It's not about choosing sides.
right.
It's, whether you believe Chris did everything or some of it, you cannot deny there's at least one murderer still walking free among us.
Possibly.
Right.
But I
And
don't
this is
know.
right. This is my opinion. So with Chris, even with him, I keep getting, well, he said he did it. Well, innocent people confess every day.
Sure.
We know that because they have innocent projects. We have Kathleen Zellner, whose only career is to exonerate innocent people.
Wonderful. Wow.
So we know this happens. I personally don't think that the FBI or law enforcement dropped the ball per se.
Okay.
I don't blame them in any sense. In this sense, I blame Chris because if Chris hadn't confessed, to which he's only ever confessed to killing Shanann,
Right.
okay, signing the plea, but he never said, I touched my girls, okay?
Right.
So besides him saying, I did it, and the polygraph, what evidence is there that actually proves this man did this? Because there's nothing in Nate's video. I've signed and gotten all the files directly from Weld County.
Wow.
I put Nate's security camera up on my 40-inch television. And the only thing you see that man doing is doing what he said he did. He put everything he said he put in that truck was in that truck.
Sure.
So my goal is just to make people kind of think logically, right? Like, one, if he just disposed of his daughters in the manner that we're told, why would he set himself up and call the school?
And that was really odd. I don't know. And then he asked them, actually, are my kids there today?
No,
right?
No, he made a statement. They're not there, are they?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now, we also have documented from Primrose in the discovery, because I don't talk about anything unless I can tell you where it is.
Sure.
Be it video, interview, whatever the case may be. I'm not just saying, oh, I see this, look at it. No, I'm going to tell you it's in the discovery. Now, in the discovery, it claims that Primrose said Sandy called there twice that morning, Sandy Rusak.
Right.
Yet Sandy knew nothing was wrong until 10 to 2.
Okay.
So who
Why
called
did she
Primrose?
call? What was the reason for her call?
To see if the girls were there.
Okay.
But according to what we know in the discovery, Nicole Atkinson never even contacted her until they're on the body cam standing at the garage. I remember that.
Right.
Now, Nicole Atkinson misworded it. She actually said she had Chris's mom on the phone.
I know. I heard that. I remember. But it was Sandy. I heard that over and over again. Right.
Right. And she yelled out to Frank. Now, Frank has got it in his interview that pin pad never worked, even when they lived there.
Okay, and mine's gone bad lately too. I don't know if my husband has to fix it or what's wrong with it, but
might just need a new battery. Yeah. Might just need a new battery. But for Frank Rusick to state, no, it didn't even work when we lived there for a year and a half.
Wow.
Okay. Now, and when everybody said Chris did not back his truck in or park in the driveway, that's a true statement. However, you also have to factor in his truck was broke into recently. just before Shanann went to North Carolina. And there is a police report about this.
Okay.
Okay.
They did do a police report. I didn't know that.
Yep. The police knew about the break-ins in the area.
Okay.
And so Chris was talking to Nate, and Nate said, well, if you park here, I can watch your truck at night.
Okay.
So Chris had only, since the break-in, started loading and unloading. He would load up on Monday mornings and unload on Fridays.
But did he pull his truck into the garage prior to that? He did.
Yes.
Okay.
But it was a new thing, only because of the break-in. Now, in my opinion, logically, nobody is going to load up bodies knowing damn well there's a camera right there.
He did look at the camera once or twice, so
he knows it's there.
Right.
But then even if you time it out, I mean, yeah, it looks like he's dragging, but still, another thing you need to factor in, and this is confirmation that Chris had carpal tunnel in both hands.
Right.
Which means physically, he couldn't have gotten Shanann out of there on his own, not in that amount of time.
Sure.
Okay. We would have seen a white blanket. We would have seen if he picked up Cece. And if he picked up Cece, why wouldn't he pick up Bella? The truck's way too big for Bella to just climb in and out of.
Sure.
But he only bent down.
You don't think he picked her up?
No. And I can tell you scientifically, again, I'm just going by facts. 3 different cadaver dog teams went through that home.
Okay.
3. And none of them commanded where they should have.
I know. That was odd.
So nobody died in that house. That's science. It wasn't just one dog. It was 3 teams.
But if someone is dead for like 10 minutes and the body's carried out, can they still
sense it?
That?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if we go by Chris's version of Shanann killed the girl, so I killed her, well, why didn't the dog alert in Cece's room?
I don't know.
Then we go to the master bedroom. Okay, well, I straddled her and killed her. Well, there's a pure white sheet on that mattress as a mattress cover, and there isn't a leak of anything. No. The dogs did not hit on the stairs. And if he was bumping her down the stairs, you know damn well she would have let go of her bodily fluids.
Sure. Well, I think he said that happened right when he killed her, that she let go of her fluids, like the moment.
So
but it would be on the sheet, on
where's
the top sheet, or I mean, my husband and I don't like top sheets. We're the only
I don't either.
Know. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Yeah. No, I just use the duvet on top with the fitted sheet.
I do
but
too.
I mean, if she released, there would be actual proof of that.
Okay. Would there be? I mean,
no, there would be. If she released, they got light gray carpets and he's moving a body in a sheet all by himself.
Right.
She would have been, I mean, it would have been everywhere.
True.
Right. So then you line up with the fact. No, let's just focus on, and we've agreed it's just NK.
Right.
Right.
NK. Yeah.
Let's just think logically.
Right.
So the timing, let's go to the beginning. She looks up Chris in September of 2017. That can't be a typo because we hadn't hit September of 18 yet. Okay. We weren't there yet.
Oh, when the files were retrieved, that we were not in September of 2018 yet? Really?
No.
I thought they were pulled like in October. I don't know why I've got that date stuck in my mind. So how did she know him? What is your
my theory is, and I haven't figured out what yet, but somehow, somewhere, some way, Shanann crossed this woman. Okay. And to me, and from the beginning, it's always screamed to me that this was a revenge kill. This was never about Chris. Chris was her entry into the home to get the layout, to find out where the cameras were. What kind of security do they have? Wow. You know what I'm saying? So that search is September of 2017. Right. October of 2017 is when Troy McCoy and Chris start working on a crew together. Okay. December of 17, Troy McCoy and his wife meet Shanann at the Christmas party. Right. January, Nicole looks up Shanann.
Wow.
April, Shanann announces she's leaving for 6 weeks.
Right.
Who's going with her? When is Chris coming? And so on and so forth.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people keep bringing up saying, well, I think they were together way before that. Well, there's no digital footprint to prove that.
No, there isn't.
Okay.
No.
And right now, everybody's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. How did they know? How did they know about the affair? Because again, there's certain things that myself and my team, I mean, this is our full-time job. Thank God for COVID, because, I'm home, I'm disabled, so I've got the time to do this. I don't have little ones, My youngest is 23, and she's ready to have my first grandbaby anytime now.
Oh, how nice. Congratulations on that, by the way. I know we talked about it privately, but yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much. But yeah, so I'm so excited about that. So, but again, when I look at this case, it doesn't matter who it is in this case, because let me tell you, I have tried everything to make it look like Chris did this.
Sure.
And I can't. I have a list that I wanted to read off or discuss with you.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely do whatever you'd like. I appreciate all this, really.
Absolutely. So let's just talk about what a guilty person would do.
Right.
Okay. Guilty people would try to hide evidence, delete evidence, listen in on phone calls. They would lie for no reasons. Their GPS and their cell phone bills are going to tell us a story. They're going to try and distract and sway and interject into the investigation.
Oh, okay.
They're going to try and destroy evidence. They're going to do these things. So these are all of the things, and I even skipped a couple, that NK did.
She did. You're right.
Did them all.
Mm-hmm.
Right down to she had a lawyer before Chris did.
Right.
She goes on in her interviews about the media being at her family's house and contacting friends and all these things. And then 2 minutes later, Agent Kopech says, well, it's a good thing they don't know your name yet then.
Right. But
why is she lying?
I have an idea. I think that she was suspicious of what may have happened, that Chris had killed his whole family. And therefore, she wanted to distance herself from the crime. Okay. Guilty or not, you know?
So now let's compare to Chris, right?
Right.
If you're even an inch guilty, are you going to hand them anything?
No.
No. Right. So, and I mean, I have calculated things down to the time. Okay.
Right.
People were going on about the fans. Chris ran upstairs and turned the fans on. No, the fans were on because they had issues with their air conditioner. And that's right from Shanann's text messages.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
And if I'm not concerned about my friend, the minute that garage door opened, I would have been barreling through that other door that's never locked.
For sure. Yeah.
I would have at least called out to her.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Now, Chris, and he tells them, she told me to delete everything, but I didn't. Why would, her reason for deleting that she told FBI was.
Right. That she
the hurt and the lie.
Right. Right.
So then why did she tell him to delete too then?
I think, again, she was trying to get herself out of the situation and prove that she was actually not, right there. She wanted to distance herself from anything to do with the murders, because she was afraid she'd be implicated. I don't think I'd do the same thing. I would show them everything, except for the naked pictures or whatever. I would show them everything. Wouldn't you?
That's fine.
Yeah, I agree.
And this is my question too. In almost 2 years, not one person has come forward to defend her or to turn on her.
Right.
Not one.
Right.
That crazy girl had to piss somebody off in the background.
Sure.
Right?
Right.
But with Chris, it was Chris's, yes, Chris is guilty. He had an affair.
Right.
But the no emotion, the swaying, the arms up, that he went to work. He never, but this is my thing. Again, if you're even an inch guilty, you're not going to just hand stuff over.
Right. No, you're not.
Chris was in with Agent Graham Coder for the first time on Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's in there from 8 till 11. I can tell you right now, if you go to the very end of that interview where Graham goes to get Chris's phone and Chris gives him the empty Gatorade bottle.
Right.
Watch the clock on the back of the wall because it goes from 10:25 to 11 o'clock like that.
Really? Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to watch that again.
That's how detailed my team and I are about this.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Wow.
And Amber Fry, again, she's looking up Amber Fry. She's looking up wedding dresses, all these things, but yet she never was anything like Amber Fry.
No, Amber Fry did not know that Scott Peterson was married.
No, but we know Kessinger did by her own email.
Right.
So why would you lie?
The only thing I could figure is to make herself not look as bad as she was, which was, having an affair with a married man.
But she already admitted that.
She did. You're right. Right?
But
I think, my theory is that she got suspicious the night before, whether it was a phone call or a text or something. She became very suspicious about his behavior. I even wrote it into the book that way, that she was worried about what is he really up to? Where is this family? What's going on?
Right.
Which is how I justify her driving by that next morning.
But then for me.
Yeah.
But that was the thing. She didn't drive by the next morning. She drove by the morning of the murders.
Right. Which was the 13th. Right.
Why was she suspicious yet?
Well, I think the night before, which would have been the night of the 12th into the morning of the 13th, they may have had a conversation that worried her.
But at the same time, what gets to me is, what about her lack of emotion in any way?
I know.
She's not even she's not even upset that her he's not her boyfriend. She cut him. She cut him like a bad habit.
Right. Which I hope she would if she was suspicious of his.
But aren't you sad a little bit?
Yeah, I know. She did that crying fit. I would love to see the video of that interview. I hear that they have the video and they haven't released it. Why have they not released that particular video?
There's a lot of stuff that's not released. And the only reason why something would not be released from any case is if there's still an ongoing investigation.
I know. We were talking about that. Do you think there is? Can we not find out as citizens whether or not the taxpayers are paying for this investigation? Is that not public knowledge? I don't know. I've never looked into that.
Just like if you think about it again logically, what state is going to pay an FBI, a CBI, and a detective their wages and fly them to another state with overnight accommodations to chat with a confessed killer?
Right. I think they wanted to clear NK. I really do. Did you not think that was?
I think they want Chris to flip on her.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Okay.
So like I said, let's go back to Chris. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but not once did those officers ever need a warrant. Chris signed waivers.
Right. He did. And I saw, a couple of videos of him doing that. Yeah.
So why, if you were even an inch guilty, why would you do that to yourself?
I don't know. The only thing I can figure is that maybe he thought, well, the evidence they're going to find, I covered the evidence because, you have to remember he was pretty proud of himself for not leaving anything behind. And he really didn't,
No, he did.
Yeah.
Honest to God, if it comes out, my only goal in any of this, I don't care who did it, but at least prove who did it. Because they never did.
Yeah.
Even at the time that Chris signed the plea deal, none of those results were even back yet, which tells me all they got was a theory. A theory. How do you put somebody away for 5 life sentences on a theory?
Right. Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. I know. But we've got some people saying things here. What are they saying? Would it not make more sense if she was suspicious? Why not call the police? My daughter's texting me. Amber and Nicole are not even comparable. I don't know. Hold on. Why wouldn't NK? I'm assuming it's why wouldn't NK call the police? That's true. That is true. No one is going to sit in prison for life for someone. Team Phoenix, thank you for that comment. I tend to agree. I think that what Tammy's saying is that he's not sitting in prison for NK. He's sitting there because he's afraid of what she might do. Am I correct? Yeah, right. And what she might do to his family.
Everything in me that on that Tuesday night phone call,
right,
he was threatened. If you don't take this, we're going to kill your mom, your dad, your sister, her husband, her babies, and the Rusiks. And if they just killed my pregnant wife and kids, I am not calling their bluff.
Right.
I'm not doing it.
Sorry, I have to answer my daughter. She's asking me something important.
No worries, girl.
Sorry.
And, and another thing, Nicole Kessinger,
NK?
called the agent, though, and this isn't, I'm not talking shit. This is out there for anybody to find.
Right.
She contacts Kopak and says, he told me he had to wash the bed sheets because they stunk.
Why would children's beds? Well, I know my daughter used to be a sweaty little kid,
Okay, but nonetheless, Chris didn't wash their beds. All he did was make them.
Right. He didn't wash the bedding? I thought he washed the bedding.
No.
Okay.
There was no laundry done by Chris Watts, but there was laundry that NK admits to having to go change over.
Really?
NK verbally admits in her second interview that she was sick to her stomach.
Oh.
Chris isn't throwing up. They found vomit out at Survey and they took it.
Can they not get DNA from that? Can they get DNA
Absolutely
from it?
They can, but none of those results were back.
Oh, no.
And this is why I say I don't blame law enforcement, because the minute Chris said, I killed Shanann because she killed the girls.
Right.
That ties law enforcement's hands.
They had their man.
The DA, that's all the DA wants. He's got his victims. He's got his confession. Case is closed. You guys, we're not paying you to look into this anymore. We don't care what you say.
And you don't think they would go and look for any other? I mean, what if there were accomplices? They can't end the case right there. Why would they? Unless they had, airtight evidence. I would like for anyone to, come forward and say, we verified that this woman was at work from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m.
Right.
I would,
But she wasn't.
Right.
She was not at work.
Wow.
And just like the vivid alerts, both Shanann and Chris have them on both phones.
Right.
That garage door opened. Not everybody keeps thinking it's the inside door.
Right.
To get into the garage from the house.
No, I thought it was the exterior.
It's the exterior garage door opening. And I've even done a theory of why I think that happened. Because whoever was putting that stuff in the trash container, the dolls and the book and all that stuff, they were looking for the light. I've done it myself. I reach in my garage and I think I hit the light button, but I opened the garage by accident.
Oh, okay.
Now Chris is at work. Nicole Atkinson was just there. So who opened the garage door?
I don't know, unless it was, her son Nick, who there's so many Nicks in this case. Can you believe that?
But they couldn't get in because that pin pad didn't work.
Okay.
But the
I thought Chris said that the door was open at 5:30 a.m. and it didn't show a record of it closing.
Okay, so what that is Chris got two pings. One at 5:26 saying the basement sensor went off, meaning somebody opened the basement door. Okay. At 1 minute later, it tells them that the garage door opened then. But he said, I know. He said, I looked in the rear view to make sure it closed.
What time did he pull out of the driveway? Do you have that time stamp or?
I do. Tracy, can you pull that up? What time Chris pulled away? But I know when I watch Nate's footage, Chris is outside when those sensors go off.
Okay.
And you know how the dog alerted under Bella's bed?
Yes.
Okay. He didn't alert on her bed.
No, not at all.
But she was dead there. And Chris saw her dead on a black and white screen in the dark. Right. How can you tell somebody's blue on a black and white screen in the dark?
Well, I completely dismissed that first confession. I think he just followed whatever Tammy told him to, the other Tammy. I think he just followed that scenario.
That's the funny
Tammy
part.
Lee. Yeah. Yeah.
But like I said, there's so many things that happen, and I'm not a conspiracy person. I'm pulling all this out of what they've given to us. And again, think logically. From Tuesday, the moment, because again, the first 24 hours don't count.
Right.
And I've researched. This is the only case in history that they went from a missing family to his slaughtered family to his signed confession in 36 hours.
Right.
That's less than the 48-hour show.
Right. Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
Right, right.
And what idiot is going to kill people? But again, we know they didn't die in the house because the cadaver dogs would have caught something.
Sure.
And the reason that they barked at the basement stairs, like I said again, go look yourself. Pause it. Look. There are 8 windows around the Watts basement.
I know.
Officer Coonrod jumps into 6 of the 8, and 2 of the 8 are missing screens. You cannot put a screen back on from the outside.
No.
And if you go to that basement shot and you pause it, there are 2 screens right there in front, and that's what that dog is barking about.
You think so? Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting.
Yep.
So,
and the fact that he left, I mean, this guy knew her phone was her life.
Right, of course. Yeah.
And it's not that he forgot one thing. He might as well, when he got home, he should have taken Coonrod by the hand and skipped all the way to Serby.
Right.
Because if it turns out Chris did this, he is the dumbest criminal in the entire world.
Well, I believe he's not very bright with being a criminal. I don't think he's ever been one before, and for all...
But who's going to leave all of that?
I think if I'm thinking about the phone, I'm sure he is aware that GPS can track her phone. The phone company can track it. So if it shows Shanann going out to Serby, he couldn't bring it with him. I suppose I could have would have thrown it in the bed of a truck, going the other direction or something. Maybe that would have been more logical.
Right? It was turned off.
I know.
Turned off.
So maybe he turned it off intending to take it with him and then realized, they can probably still track it. I don't know.
So he just hid it under the cushion. But this is weird too, because by Tuesday night when he's with Graham, he says, we still haven't found her Apple Watch. Well, guess where that Apple Watch was found that night?
It wasn't in the sofa as well, or was it?
The same damn sofa and pillows that they'd looked through with dogs for 2 days.
Well, I wonder who put it there then. Oh my God. Wow.
And, and again, I'm not judging, I'm not slamming, I'm just pulling facts out of the evidence. But, if Nicole adds consent, she texts her at 8:45.
Right.
Shanann's appointment was for 9:15. She didn't answer her by 9, and it states in discovery, she called a wellness check at 9 a.m. So 2 questions. 1, why didn't law enforcement follow up? And 2, if she's that worried about her friend, why did it take her till afternoon to get to the house?
That's true. Right. Well, probably she thought Shanann had the appointment at 9. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know.
I'm just saying, if you're that concerned.
Right. Why would it take you so long to drive 12 minutes?
3.5 hours.
Right.
Right? 9, 10, 11, 12. 3 hours later is when she shows up at the house, and she still doesn't even call law enforcement for another hour.
Correct. Right. Right. Well, I mean, I don't know if it was my young, healthy friend, even if she was pregnant, I don't know if I would panic that much that soon, especially if the husband's saying, oh, she's fine. She's gone, taking the girls and gone on a play date. I don't know if I would panic yet,
Right.
Especially if she didn't know. I mean, if she assumed that Chris was a regular, nice guy, like he portrayed himself to be. I don't know if I would call the authorities or even drive over there yet. I don't know. Maybe.
Right. But did you notice how quickly everybody that knew this man turned on him?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's no evidence. There's no actual evidence to prove he did this. And the polygraph is crap. To me, it means nothing, because if you can't put it in court, then I don't want to hear about it.
And weren't there her hairs in the back seat of his truck? Or would that be a normal? No. Okay.
There is nothing documented in the discovery at all.
Okay.
And 2, how is her hair going to fall out if she's wrapped in a fitted sheet with a blag on her head?
True. And they may have been hairs that, if it is in there, they may have been hairs that she shed when she was driving in the truck, or even grabbing something out of the truck for Chris earlier. I don't know. But
no, when you go through discovery, and any paper that I've looked over from what they took out of that truck, there was no hair ever.
Right.
Ever.
Okay. Wow.
Put into that.
Interesting. So how do you think it may have been pulled off? What would be your explanation of what happened from the time Shanann got home? I mean, how did this happen, or what do you see. I
I
mean,
believe, this is what I believe. I
okay.
believe because now she lies to Kopak. She said, no, all we did was text all day Tuesday.
Right.
She talked to him at night for over 2 hours.
Okay.
Why are you lying again?
Yeah.
That woman lies from the moment she literally changed what she said to the agent in the park because she admits to him that she knew they were married and had kids.
Right.
But then by the time she gets to Kopak, I knew nothing of it.
Wow.
Right? Even her lies don't make sense. If
No.
you sincerely want to help this case, she never actually gave them anything.
No, you're right. She didn't. And I love that. What was it? I forgot to mention I had been on Dr. B's show, True Psych Word. I forgot to mention her, but did you hear that parody she did about being NK on 80 on Alan's channel? It was hilarious. She pretended to be NK. You've got to look that up. It's hilarious.
I do. That would sound so funny.
It was so funny.
And I want the viewers to understand, I don't hate this woman because she had an affair with a married man.
No, of course.
Okay? And I'm not proud of it, but I've had an affair with a married man. So I'm not just doing that, oh, she's nasty because of that.
Right.
No.
Oh, did you really, Tammy? That's good gossip. I'm kidding.
I'm sorry, but I did. Not with my husband.
I never did that. No.
With my ex-husband,
Sure.
Not something I was proud of, but I did it. And so it has nothing to do with that.
No, I know, but I know a lot of women, that are our age are thinking, oh my gosh, my husband could do the same thing and I hate her because of that,
This is the most important part. Everything that has happened to the Rusiks and the Watts could happen to any one of us at any moment.
For sure.
Any one of us. And the people that seem to think, oh no, not my this.
Not mine, right.
No, you're crazy. No, I'm sorry, but this is what I'm trying to get across to everybody now. Please just think with common sense. We all know somebody like NK. We all know somebody like Shanann. And by saying things that Shanann did is not bashing her. The woman was
of course not. No,
I
don't agree with that.
She was not a saint on earth with wings coming out of her back.
Right.
She had her own personality.
She was a regular person, and she was a sweet lady, a wonderful lady, but she was a regular person. I mean,
how many times have you heard Shanann herself on any of her videos say, Chris will do whatever I tell him to?
Oh, a bunch of times. It's adorable. My husband will too. I'm not I'm not ashamed. I mean, it's the same thing. Right.
But I'm telling you right now, if I said, honey, come on, you're going to come on my live and I'm going to do a facial on you, he's going to tell me you're nuts.
Oh, my husband too. Yeah, he would never. He hates public appearances. He hates public speaking, even in meetings.
Now, another thing that my team and I found is in the garbage in the kitchen, okay? It's documented. You can go look at all the pictures yourself.
Sure.
It starts out with a full garbage. Now, on the very top, there are 2 little pink bags. I'm assuming from a bathroom, because in one of them, you can actually see an empty toilet paper roll.
Okay.
So they removed that. Then it's the sheet and the 3 pillowcases.
Okay. Why?
I don't know. But we're going to skip down to the bottom of the garbage first. Okay. Because this is very true. The placement of this other item is very important, because at the very bottom of the garbage bag, you see everything Chris told you he did that morning. There was an empty Thrive meringue bar. There was an empty eggshell. There were the packet from his pills that he takes and his shake, right?
Right. Okay.
Now, between Chris's breakfast garbage and those bed sheets, there lays an empty Starbucks cup.
Oh, really?
The time on that Starbucks cup is at 9:57 a.m.
On that day, on the 13th?
Well, the date's not on it.
Oh,
but again, look at the garbage in the bag.
Okay.
Chris's breakfast, a Starbucks cup, bed sheets, and garbage.
Oh,
we know Chris didn't go get a Starbucks.
No, he wouldn't. No, right.
And Shanann didn't come home with a Starbucks.
No.
So who brought the Starbucks?
Would it have maybe been Nicole Atkinson? Did she have one in her hand? Do you remember?
No.
But it wouldn't be that far down in the trash either,
No. And the Starbucks cup couldn't have been the Thayers, because they didn't get there till later that day.
Correct, right.
They didn't show up until evening.
Okay.
So it
But
can't
would
be the
she be
Thayers.
so sloppy? Would NK be that sloppy? You know what I mean? I think a woman is
Well, just like the fact of the 2 blue gloves. Why would Chris wear gloves in his own damn house?
right. Well, I think that was from Shanann coloring her hair. She was going to do it and didn't do it or something like that. I don't know.
But there's one in the bedroom, in the master bedroom on the floor, and one's on top of the fridge with a book, a child's book.
Oh.
Again,
now, I know my daughter used to take those rubber gloves from out of my hair color box and blow them up and have balloons.
Yeah. But we know one blue Natrel glove was found with the bedding on the floor, and one was found on the fridge with the child's book. And what was under Bella's bed? A book.
Child's book, right.
And what did NK said that she loved about their bedroom, their playroom?
Ooh, they had so many books. Right. Yeah.
Right? So now
I don't know.
Right? Why again, he's not gonna wear gloves in his house. They even asked Frank, or is your DNA going to be there? And Frank said, probably. I babysat when they were in San Diego.
Sure, of course. Yeah.
And I lived there.
Yeah.
So again, why would Chris wear gloves in his own house? He wouldn't.
You're right.
And if it was,
but maybe his fingerprints would be on her neck. And I know they can actually lift fingerprints from skin.
Okay. So back to that again. If you're going to go to the extent of confessing and signing a plea deal and being in prison for over a year, and you still can't get how she died right?
Correct. You're right.
And that position she's in, she is locked in that position, which tells me her dead body riggered in the trunk of a car.
You think so? You don't think he just tumbled her into the grave and that's where she landed?
Nobody's going to land like that. That's a perfect pose.
True.
And I've looked up the weather. There wasn't wind out there for nothing, and it's certainly not going to blow. It's just stupidity. Nobody's going to leave. Why would he take her out of the sheet and garbage bags? Why didn't he just put her in the hole?
I have no idea. Yeah.
To me, that screams setup.
Really? Okay.
It really does. It jumps out. And like I said, I've put myself in Nicole Kessinger's mind. I put myself in Frank's and Sandy's and Shanann's and Chris's and the Watts, everybody.
Right.
You know,
I've tried to do well. Obviously, I did it when I wrote the book, but yeah.
Right. And even that, like I said, I don't have ill will to any of the family members.
Of course not. No.
I can't even fathom what they go through on a day-to-day basis.
Right. And they've lost so much. Both sides have lost so much, you know, and I don't know.
And like I said, I mean, I thank God, knock on wood, I've never had to be in this position that they're in. So I understand the heartbreak and the anger, and you know, all of them are just trying to figure this out. Why? Because nobody proved anything.
Right.
And you know, like I said, if that was one of my loved ones, whether it's my friend or somebody I gave birth to, if one person came to me with something solid of evidence that would make you think somebody else was involved, would you not want to fight for that justice?
Oh, of course. I mean, even from the Rusek side, I mean, the only thing I figure,
that's what I mean.
Right.
You know, and it's just so hard to even comprehend what they must go through. But again, I don't care. I don't care who it is. Just prove it to me.
Sure.
Because other than Chris saying he did it, what do you got?
Well, I think Chris saying he did it and then pointing them to where the bodies were located. There's that too.
But how would he know? And who's dumb enough to go to their first job site?
That's true. I don't know why. I think
like I said,
panicking a bit.
He may I don't know. But he may as well have taken Coonrod by the hand and skipped him on out there.
No, I agree.
This is another thing in Discovery. Does everybody know they had cadavers out there at the site on Tuesday?
Did they?
And they found nothing.
And they didn't find her. They didn't find Shanann. No, they wouldn't have yet. Okay.
And then I calculated the other day. And it's funny because when the people attack me, they try to break down the things that we've put together. It's because they're pissed off because they know that something that I'm saying is right.
Correct. Right.
Everybody wants to hate Chris and the Watts, and they want to feel bad, obviously, clearly for Shanann. This is what I want. Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico at least deserve real justice.
They do. They do deserve justice. And
like I've said a million times, if it's Chris, great. Good job. You got him.
Right.
I'll be the first one to go live and say, I was wrong. because I will own my shit.
And I agree with you. If someone were to prove to me that NK was involved in any part of it, I would agree, and I would think I would admit to being totally wrong. And I mean, in the beginning, I kicked around a lot of different theories, and halfway through even writing No Inclination, I thought for about a week that maybe Shanann killed her children, because again, there's a woman, Marilyn Lemack, who was about 3 or 4 miles away from my house, who killed her 3 children after school one day because her husband was having an affair, and he had moved into the house with the new woman. And so she killed her children and tried to kill herself, and that didn't work. So for maybe a week, I thought, oh my gosh, wait a minute, maybe Shanann did kill the children. And I've kicked around everything, especially with NK. I wanted to hate her because of what she did, and I knew that wasn't logical, because even though she knew he was a married man, he was telling her, I'm leaving her, I'm leaving her, I'm leaving her. So I kicked around all those explanations. And then when Chris confessed to Cheryl and Cadel in that letter, that is proof, it is his handwriting, it is a letter that he actually wrote, that he killed the children twice. Oh my gosh, it hit me that, no one's going to confess to something that frightening if it's not true. And that's when I was firmly, I had the belief that I'm doing this right. This is how it really happened. But no, I'm open to anything. And I love all the stuff you've gathered. Oh my gosh, I don't know what to make out of all of that.
Right. I do want to answer Voices Behind the Wall.
Please
do. She said, has any girl been with an asshole who hurt her, then deleted everything so you don't keep looking back on it? I have, so I can totally see why NK deleted texts. I've done it, so I didn't keep looking. But have you also messaged that ex and told him to do it too?
Maybe. I know that's a good friend of mine. She's actually Cher. She's the gal that I'm writing the book with, her and Rhonda Glover. And I tend to agree. And then what Tammy says, right? And then what Tammy says makes sense too, because I mean, I think that the entire reason why NK told him to delete the texts was because she thought, oh crap, I'm going to be investigated in what looks like a murder case. And this guy did it all. So I'm going to back out as much as I can right now. But what a stupid conclusion to come to. Why wouldn't you say, hey, police people, I was involved with this married man. I feel terrible about it, but my God, I think he's done something awful. That's what I would do. And get rid of the naked pictures maybe, and say, forgive me, but don't look at those or whatever. Maybe keep them on there and just warn them about what they might find.
No, exactly.
Right.
But like I said, I mean, okay, let's talk about how she was listening in on speakerphone to Chris talking to the officer at 2 a.m. Or the question she said to Chris, what's my dog's name? What yoga park do I go to? Or whatever, to make sure it was Chris on the phone and not the agents. Because what everybody's forgetting is they had Shanann's phone on Monday.
Right.
Which means
I'm wondering if she thought it was Chris or Shanann, if she thought that Shanann was just, doing this all as a big trick to try to figure out if he's cheating.
Right. Either way. So, but like I said, and then you go to, oh shoot, what was my point? I got distracted. I saw people.
No.
But, even then when she's talking to them, she doesn't come off that she's wanting to help.
That's true. Well, she pretends she does want to help. I mean,
and
I think what she wanted was to clear her name.
Right. And then, like I said, 12 minutes into Chris's, or maybe 13, when he's with Graham, he hands his phone over. Now, if you don't actually read the discovery, then you don't know, but they took his phone while he was being interviewed from Frederick Police Department to the CBI office for 2 of the 3 hours he's there, which means they downloaded everything.
Sure.
Okay. Now, this is basic law enforcement knowledge. Come on. What makes you think they didn't bug his damn phone? They had a SWAT team. They had a SWAT team set up around Nicole Kessinger's house Tuesday night, expecting Chris to show up there, but he didn't.
Which is very scary. Wow.
And he's not blowing up her phone. She's calling him. And every time
I got the impression that she was suspicious. That's the way I see it.
But either way, though, then how come every time she hangs up with Chris, she has to call Jim?
I don't know. unless Jim was just a very close friend. The way I explained it in the book, he was one of her best friends that she really relied on, and maybe she could confide in him about her fears. And Jim should be questioned because he could actually corroborate her alibi and corroborate with what she's saying about the way she was feeling or thinking, because he probably is the person she turned to.
So then why did she lie about Jim coming in on Monday?
And why would she not want him to be contacted is what I don't understand, because he could probably provide the best evidence that she was innocent and very worried about what might have happened to Shanann and the girls. Yeah. Yeah, I don't get that either.
Jim was in on Friday because he went to the game with her and Danielle Friday night.
Correct. Right. I don't know.
And she hosted Danielle for the weekend.
Right. And Jim was staying there as well.
Right. But Chris apparently went there and had sex with her after their dinner.
Right.
And that's another thing too. Every time they went out, any of their trips were always done farther away from town.
Until the last one.
Mm-hmm. So, in my opinion, that was so he would get caught. Because I phoned both Lazy Dogs and I talked to both managers, and it goes right down to the salad. They're have identical. The same menu.
Right. Now, someone told me, I think it might have been a podcast where they said that they're not the same menu somehow. I don't know.
No, they are. I called.
Okay.
And anybody can call them.
Sure.
Call them up. And I didn't even talk to who answered. I called and I asked for the manager.
Right. And I'm looking here at the things that are coming in from all these lovely folks, trying to keep up with it. But Tracy says,
no,
Chris fitted the bill and he was a patsy and Shanann was the target. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So for True Crime Truth Seeker, no, Chris didn't hand it over. They took it. It. And from the moment that Baumhauer shows up, there are 2 undercovers on Chris from that point until he's in prison.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So there's that. Again, why is she lying about these things?
I don't know. Unless she really wanted to not be implicated. I don't know if I would lie. I would tell them everything.
What innocent person at almost 2 years would still allow the public to believe they're guilty if they weren't?
Sure. Unless there's I'm saying just like her, but unless there's a possibility that
I knew you were going to get me getting myself today. I knew it.
But maybe she needed to leave town. She might have been pregnant. And I wonder if the CBI or someone independently gave her a way to get away, helped her form a new identification, and they couldn't pay for it. She does not qualify for witness protection at all. That's
right, because there was no trial.
Right. But I think that maybe she would, qualify as a sympathetic person, basically for them to take pity on and say, okay, lady, we're going to help you recreate your life, but we can't, help you with money. We can't help you with where you go, but just get away. I understand that you're, no one likes you, so go. That's a possibility.
But still though, right?
But then again, maybe if they did that, they did help her get away. Perhaps that's why they're not pursuing her, because they'll look stupid. I don't know.
No, I get that. 100%. I just want to answer Team Phoenix. The 2017 search cannot be a typo for 2 reasons. One, we wouldn't hit September of 2018 yet. And DA Rourke said it himself publicly. It is not a typo. We don't know why it says that, but that's what was pulled.
And why wouldn't they investigate that one little issue? I mean, further. Yeah, I don't know. I do not know.
And again, I'm not accusing anybody of anything.
No.
All I'm saying is this evidence points to other people. And I'm sorry, DA Rourke took an oath to protect the people of Colorado. And I can tell you there physically has to be at least one murderer, because there's no physical way. We've timed it out. We've mapped it out with GPS, Chris texting, Chris calling, all of those things with 2 hands with carpal tunnel.
Right.
There's no humanly way he was able to do this by himself. And like I said, Shanann is found at midnight on Wednesday.
Correct. And she was in rigor, or she was out of rigor.
No, she was still in full
Oh,
rigor.
okay. Okay.
Full rigor, which
Okay.
means there's no way she died Monday. You got to
Wow.
factor in that 80, 85 degree weather.
And
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
What worries me is that maybe do you think she could have survived the strangulation and died,
No.
slowly in her grave? That's
No,
frightening.
because her butt was barely covered. She could have crawled out.
Okay. Well, not if you're almost, gone and you can barely breathe if your windpipe has been crushed.
But either way, that's the
Right.
thing. Her windpipe wasn't crushed.
Right. Oh, it wasn't. Okay. I'm sorry. I sound like an idiot.
No, you don't. No.
Yeah, you're so smart. You know everything about the case.
She was killed from the back. There's a thumbprint on the back of her neck.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, 2 times Chris has told us how he killed her, and both times he said it was from the front. He doesn't even know it was from the back.
True.
And if you're going to confess and sit in jail and rot, why bother lying?
Right.
What's he got to lose?
I thought it was one side of her neck was more more covered with bruising rather than the other one. Okay. Okay.
Yep. There's only one bruised handprint on that woman.
Okay.
One.
And which side, left or right?
The right, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's right-handed. I mean, I don't know.
Either way, though, right?
And he might have turned her over to finish the job, but then he said he saw her eyes, when she passed away.
And that's another thing too. He said he saw blood in her eyes. You go to the autopsy, there was no blood in her eyes.
No.
And it doesn't go away.
Right. No, because I know that, if you get a bloodshot eye, if you your kid punches you in the eye, it lasts forever.
Right? So again, his stories don't match up. And again, he's got nothing to lose. So why is he lying?
Right. Exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
Chris's we already saw that. Oh, Chris's biggest mistake, this is from Just Me, Marcy. Chris's biggest mistake was getting involved with a Satanist, and that's why the house is haunted with the demons he brought home. What do you think about that?
I don't know, because this is another thing too that's come to light that we caught in one of the interviews. Nobody caught on to the fact that Jim was in the sand dunes.
Oh, he was? When they were there?
Yeah, because Kopech says specifically to her, here's a picture of you guys in the sand dunes. Who's the guy in the back with the beard and the backpack? She says, oh, that's my friend Jim.
So Chris did know Jim. Not
necessarily. What if Jim, sorry, my camera turned. What if Jim met them there? Because Chris says when he woke up at one point, she was gone.
I know, for about an hour, right?
Right. So they could have conveniently made it like they kind of just met this guy in the sand dunes.
Ooh, okay.
You get where I'm going with that? It's a possibility. I'm not saying it is.
Of course, all of this is, conjecture, which is fine.
So you asked my theory. So my theory is that
tell me.
Once Chris left, they came in the basement. And again, let's go to those basement windows. They're not the regular basement windows.
No.
If you go to the body cam and watch when they go down, that window is at their waist. So you don't even need to climb out.
Right. Right.
You can just literally step out.
Right.
And like I said, so I think they came in now from the beginning, when I heard that there was no defense wins. There's nothing on Chris and there's nothing on Shanann.
No.
And she had nails.
She did. Mm-hmm.
She had great nails.
I know. I loved her nails.
And she's an Italian. So don't tell me this woman's going to take this. She's going to fight somehow.
Sure.
And the only way she wouldn't have fought would be if she was unconscious. What about chloroform? Chloroform's not in your bloodstream because you inhale it.
Correct. Right.
Okay. So it's not going to show up unless you look for it. Or what about the fact they found a shotgun casing and live bullets, and there was a woman that called it in that morning. There was a gunshot or a loud backfire, she said, but it scared her enough that she took a picture of the clock.
Correct.
Why wasn't this followed up more? Because the only other way you're going to get a mother out of a house with her kids with no fight is she's either unconscious or you got a gun to her head.
Correct.
And I'm sorry, that's
unless
logic.
She's dead. I don't know.
Again, but she couldn't have died in the house because the dogs would have known.
Interesting.
And like I said, you factor in that weather. I mean, her rigor she should have been a puddle. By the time they got her out, she
Correct.
should not have been still in full rigor, not with the weather that they were having.
I mean, to me, I mean, following my theory, it makes me really worried that she was not dead when he put her in the hole. I mean, oh my God. I don't know. I really don't know.
But
How
she
was
had
that
to
going to
be
happen
dead.
otherwise?
She had to have been dead because she was rigored in
Correct.
a downward dog position.
Right. You're right.
Rigored.
You're right. You're right. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is, yeah.
But like I said, it's just facts. It's all there. It's all in the interviews, which is what we do in our group. I do lives. We're listening to the interviews. We pause. We write things down.
I love that. I love watching your lives. Whenever I have time, I go in there and watch them. I love it.
And we just break it down together. And again, like I said, I'm never going to say, oh, look here, you can see this, if you can't.
Right. Okay.
And again,
no, and I do see everything you're saying. And
it's not about proving. It's not about proving Chris innocent.
Correct. Right.
This is my only goal in this is to get real justice.
Real justice.
Because
right.
That's I mean, I'm sorry. Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico deserve that much.
They do.
Why can't we put all our crap aside? Why do groups have to be against each other?
Whether I cannot stand that. I don't know. Right? It really bothers me, Tammy.
And whether you're black and white and you think Chris did it, it's open, it's shut, then why are you in groups and why do you care?
Correct.
You have unanswered questions.
Of course, the whole thing is a big conundrum. You know, no one really knows because nothing makes sense. Right. And I mean, I would wish if he'd be open to doing an interview to tell the truth, if he would tell the truth once and for all, but you don't think he would, right? I mean, you don't think he'd be able to even
all
at
I
this
can
point.
say as far as that is I'm working on it.
Good. Okay, good. Aw, yeah.
I'm working on it. I've made a really good connection with Cindy Watts.
Aw.
She is an amazing lady. And again, this is not about helping her get her son out of prison.
Correct.
And even in their eyes, the one thing I can tell you is both Ronnie and Cindy have told me, we don't care where the chips fall. We just want prove it.
Sure.
That's it.
And I mean, they're a great family and the Rusaks are great people too. And I wish that, you know, I think that the infighting between the groups and between the theorists.
Well, my thing is though, Tanya, is okay, you've seen what I've done.
Yes.
Can you imagine what could happen if I joined forces with Dr. B and Armchair Detective and all of these other people? Can you imagine what could be accomplished in this case if we all just stop trying to be the one getting the top dollar? Because that's why I won't do a YouTube.
Well, you don't have to monetize your YouTube. I think you can do it for free. Look, I'm doing it for free, of course, you know.
But like I said, still, for me, I stay on Facebook with the Watts case because then nobody can say she's doing it for money. I don't care. I don't want 15 minutes of fame. All I want is real justice for the people that were murdered. That's it. I know.
You're amazing. I love what you do. I really do. And you have a good following and people really believe in you. And you're so good at speaking too. I'm letting you kind of take over here.
Oh, thank you. But you know, like I've teamed up with True Crime Truth Seeker and you know, she's a very important part of my team. And that's the difference too, right? Like all of these groups, you know, it's always, you know, they're at the number one, where in my group, it's no, we're a team.
Oh, good.
We've done this together.
Yeah.
So if anything,
very open.
Right. And if we can even just get this case open.
Well, I don't know if they will reopen it. You know, I don't know. How could we, let's see here, just because something.
Well, we already know there was ineffective counsel because I've never in my life heard of a defense team bringing a plea deal to the DA.
True. But I think that they were worried about that death penalty. And I know that Chris would have been worried.
Nobody was worried about the death penalty.
Really?
Yep. Because Cindy told me right from her mouth. It's not like they do it the next day.
It would be right. It would be years and years down the line and it may not even happen.
And the bill to abolish that was only months away.
And I believe they finally did, right?
And it's gone. Right. Gone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they never were afraid of the death penalty, ever.
And someone says, Messmaker says, just because it isn't done the way you would do it doesn't mean it didn't happen. I don't know if she's talking to me or you, but I know that
I know what that means.
I think that people have gotten mad at me because I say, you know, because I breathe mostly, but because I say things like in my opinion or the way I would have done it or whatever. So,
but again, even with that, okay, I asked somebody in a group, please tell me where the manual is that tells you how you're supposed to act in this type of thing happening to you. There isn't one, just like there's no manual to be a parent.
No, exactly. But I mean, I know that you and I are both kind of, empathic in the sense that we think, well, if I can put myself in their shoes, here's what I would have done. Right.
And that's just my opinion. Or
and
I've never,
opinion.
Right. And this is a big thing too that's important, because I don't just focus in one area. Every show you ever watch, whether it's a documentary or something made up in Hollywood, the coroner will tell you the same thing. Your victim will tell you a story.
It does, right. That's correct.
So we go back, So we go back. Now, this is what's going to X-nay that they were together longer, because Shanann herself said, when I left, we were all over each other.
Correct.
Right. Nicole Atkinson even said they were doing it in the pantry.
Right.
Which means, I'm sorry, was there a break in their marriage then?
I don't know. I mean, who knows?
They're doing it like bunnies, right? Until she leaves. You know, and even to the email, when he gives her his phone number, he didn't give her his personal number. He gave her his work number.
Correct. Right.
So the way I saw that at the beginning was, Chris is a nice guy, and he's everybody said he's helpful and friendly.
Correct.
And I thought, she probably gave him the, oh, woe is me. I can't find a good guy. I'm never going to have what you have with your beautiful family and la, la, la. And in my opinion, I honestly thought Chris was just trying to be a friend and probably trying to think of somebody he could set her up with.
And I think in the beginning that might have been correct, but I don't know.
Right? Because even Shanann said, Chris has no game. And Nicole Kessinger admits herself on video, I pursued him.
Correct. Right. I can totally see that. Of course.
So we can't back out of that.
No.
Because she pursued him and it came right out of her mouth.
She did.
Okay. So nobody can say, oh, you're just bashing Nicole again, because I didn't. It came out of her mouth and you can go look for it.
That is correct. It's part of the discovery or whatever it is. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I don't doubt that. I know that she was probably very, he wasn't a very assertive person. He still isn't. And I can imagine she would do that. But why? One reason that I don't know, that I think she's kind of shady is Chris Watts is not the best catch out there. I'm sure there were a lot of men who were single who would have, had a relationship with her. Why pick him? I don't get that, except maybe for the fact that he was very quiet and subdued, and he wasn't really a big personality, and she was, Nicole was, just like Shanann is, or was rather.
Which also keeps leading me back to, this was never about her wanting Chris.
Okay.
This was,
I can see that. I don't know why.
In my gut, everything tells me in my stomach, like a fist, this was a revenge kill. Because she came in when she knew Shanann was gone, and then she was gone again once she was dead.
What kind of an incident would have occurred though for it to be a revenge thing?
That's what I'm saying. To me, it's got to be money. Something to do with money. And again, I haven't made that connection yet. But let's go to Shanann's ex-husband, Leonard King.
Right.
This is a lawyer, and he blatantly lied to the feds. That's jail time right there.
Right.
He said, I hadn't seen Shanann or heard from her in over 10 years. Didn't even know she had kids. Well, that's funny, because I have a screenshot from your current wife with condolences and thanking Shanann for introducing you to your wife at a Thrive event.
Wow. Interesting. Why is everyone lying? I don't
now
understand.
We have to factor in Leonard, according to Shanann, the victim, Leonard was her abuser.
Right.
So maybe it's there. Then we can talk about the money laundering. Maybe it was there.
Maybe. You're right.
Knows,
You're right. There are a million different reasons why.
I even thought, okay, well, did she maybe steal somebody from her once? I don't know, like back in the day.
Who knows? Yeah, I think they lived so far apart, but you never know. It could have been online or something. I don't know.
Right. So again, I'm open to all of that, but my thing is that again, I can even almost give you, he killed Shanann. I can't because he doesn't even know how she died, but I can entertain that idea. But I can tell you with everything in my body, there's no way that man did anything to those babies, and he certainly would not have crushed them into a hole. Not those babies.
And I can't see it either. And that's I think one of the reasons why this case is so alive still nowadays. People are trying to come up with, an answer, because he doesn't look like a murderer. He doesn't act like a murderer.
Right.
This could be my husband, your husband, whatever.
Yes.
So this is why it disturbs us so much. But I know that, even reading Lena Durali's book, she says he's a sociopath or a psychopath, and they are very skilled at pretending to be someone they're not, even their entire lives. Right. Especially if he was aware that he didn't have the emotions that other people have. Now, I know there's other possibilities for his diagnosis. Some people say that he might have Asperger's or be on the spectrum, somewhere. And that's entirely possible too. But there's something wrong with him if he did commit these crimes that would be able to pull him out emotionally so that he has no feelings about what he did,
Right.
Or what
but
happened.
This is my other thing too. Mm-hmm. When Chris was arrested, he wasn't read his Miranda rights. When Chris should have been, and this is what upsets me, he was not drug tested. He did not have a mental assessment done before signing that plea deal. And you must be of sound mind and body. And they didn't even check. They locked him away for 96 days. He couldn't even get his own lawyer. He had to get the one the DA gave him.
Right.
And this is the good thing too. One of Chris's defense attorneys now works for the DA.
Wow.
The DA would have got a big bonus. The DA was up for re-election.
Okay, so they needed a conviction. They really needed a conviction in this case.
This conviction was a slam dunk.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Chris literally went, "Yep, I killed Shanann."
Right.
And again, if you look at, you got to think about personalities. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the man, but how can all these doctors judge him when nobody's even met him?
True.
I'm sorry, but any doctor out there or counselor or anything of the like, if they're diagnosing me by videos.
Right. Me too. Yeah.
What kind of doctor are you? Did you get it out of a Cracker Jack box?
Right. We'd all look pretty nuts for what we do.
Please go to Chris, make an appointment, and assess him medically. Don't guess because this is what you do. You've never met him.
Now, do you have any, do you know if they've done an assessment up to this point? Have they given him a mental? No. Okay.
All they did was the entrance assessment, which Chris tells you was like math and stuff to figure out what job they'd be best for in the prison later on. Okay. That's it. That's the only assessment.
That's insane. They have not done a mental evaluation yet.
Nope.
I would have done that right away, if for nothing else than just to make
they
a
even
case
had him on suicide watch.
They did, right.
But yet he still never saw a doctor.
I don't understand that. I mean, and we're sure that he hasn't up to this point seen any kind of a mental health professional or?
Yeah. Okay. Nothing.
Okay.
Wow. He's been given nothing like that. And when he first got to prison, one guard gave him a bunch of murder books, and another one, bless his heart, took those away and gave him a Bible.
Oh, wow. Okay. But I mean, that's a good thing, yeah. But
I know that one did that, because I mean, what the hell is that anyways?
One of my readers actually sent him my book. She told me she was going to do it. And I said, I just don't want to know anything about it. Do whatever you want, Right. So I don't know if he actually was able to read it or was allowed to read it or whatever. But I don't even know if he should, that's right. I don't know if.
Now let's talk about this narcissist, because I see the words coming up, right? Because everybody wants to argue with me, because nobody wants to just go, you know what? And my only point in doing this is just to make people think.
Oh, for sure.
Because again,
me too.
My favorite thing that Agent Kevin Kopak said to Nicole Kessinger, and again, I said her name, but it's right. He said, you can't debate the science. You can't.
Right.
You can't debate her cell phone. You can't debate the GPS on Chris's truck. Just like everybody went off about Chris dumping stuff in the dumpster a couple minutes before he got to Coonrod. No, he had to pull over to take the call.
Oh, okay. No, I thought he did actually confess to doing that.
He did confess to it, but
okay.
when I timed it back, it was the same time that Coonrod was calling him at the front door.
Oh, okay. Wow.
He has to pull over to answer the phone.
Does he not have a Bluetooth in his car, though? I would think he
They're
would.
not allowed to use it.
Oh, okay.
That's a big thing with Anadarko. They did have Bluetooth, but they were not allowed. So if he got a text from Troy or a call from his boss, he's got to pull over.
Interesting. I did not know that. And, my friend Cher is saying that it took Rhonda almost 4 years to be evaluated. And Rhonda Glover is in prison for 46 years now.
Yeah.
And, or that's her total sentence. It took her about 4 years to be evaluated. That's amazing. I don't understand why they would do that. Why they would, especially with a murderer, you would think they would throw some of our tax dollars to trying to understand why something happened so that it won't happen again, or at least to understand, the uniqueness of their personality that led them to whatever it was.
And I get that. But
even
like
if
I
said, sociopath,
let's talk about narcissists, right? My son, my son is a bodybuilder.
Aww.
And like I told you, I put myself in everybody's position in this entire thing.
I do too, right?
Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Watts is the farthest thing from a narcissist.
Right. I don't see that either. I don't see the narcissistic. My
son, if it's a shiny window, my son will stop and admire himself in it.
Oh, gosh.
He will. And again, I mean, why do people pretend like they're just sitting there in their glass house? Oh, I don't know anybody that's ever cheated. You know what? If I said who's going to cheat between my son and his girlfriend, I will tell you right now, it'd be my son.
It would be your son, right? Okay.
Hey, because I know men.
Right.
Oh, that's funny. Even raising my children, I was never that mom like, oh, no, not my kid. No, I'd be like, yep.
No, I wasn't either. My daughter,
Prove to me you didn't do it.
Mm-hmm. When she was naughty, I would take responsibility for it, of course. And I know whenever she has been, misbehaving, even though she's a grown up now and she's wonderful. But I don't see, that's what I talked to Dr. B about, is that I don't know, do you have to be a narcissist if you're a sociopath? Do they have to go hand in hand?
Right. But even with Chris getting fit, everybody focuses on that. The way I saw that was Chris finally felt like he deserved to be on Shanann's arm.
Sure.
That's how I took it.
Right. And I know he probably did feel small, and I understand that. Shanann was a very big personality, and she was always out there. And again, I think
now I'm getting, there's 85 different types of narcissism.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
So Melissa Burba, sorry, I apologize. I read it wrong. Then get a real doctor to go diagnose him then. Why are you diagnosing him? That's my question.
Well, I think it's a natural thing. We all do that. We want to figure out what the heck is going on here. But
but
it's a shame that he has not had a professional evaluation. I don't get that, Right? I really don't. Right.
And it's not fair. It's just not fair. And it's not that, again, I've tried to make Chris be the monster that I'm supposed to believe he is.
Right. And I don't know that he's
but all the pieces don't fit, is what I'm saying.
I think that if you do follow my theory, he's not necessarily a monster. He's just very different.
And I believe a lot of things were done to make him look guilty.
Right.
Like, why in God's name? Okay, nobody's going to do this. You're at work, you're working away, you're digging holes, you're doing whatever the hell you're doing. And at 10 after 10, in the middle of an oil field, you're going to look up the words to battery?
Right. That was odd. And one thing that really bugs me is, do we have the actual text where NK sent him messages saying, can you prove to me where you're located, that you're at Survey?
Yes. Why?
What was, and the only thing I could figure is that he was saying something that bothered her, and she thought he was with Shanann at home, which might even explain why she drove by the house. I mean, I don't know.
But she drove by the house at 6:16. Chris was long gone.
Sure. He was already gone. Right.
So again, why does he have to prove it at 7:15?
I don't know.
He knows he's not at home.
Right. And I wonder, oh my gosh, again, following my theory, I wonder if she might have driven by and literally knocked on the door or something and no one was there. So she was concerned they were off as a family somewhere, and she was angry.
This is my question.
Yeah.
The morning of July the 4th. This is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know by messages that this was their first sleepover.
Right.
He wakes up. Shanann's called 10 times because in North Carolina it's 7:30. But in Colorado it's 5:30.
Right.
Okay.
2 hours.
Just like their router is 2 hours behind.
Right.
Okay. So when she called and she's on the phone with Chris, this is Chris's version. He goes into the place. He says to NK's in the shower. I got to go. She says, you coming back? Probably not. He leaves. Now, she admits to Kopak. Yes, Kopak.
Mm-hmm.
She went to his house and he was shampooing the carpets, right?
Correct, right.
But at the same time, she sat on the wet carpet to fix his mackerels.
True.
And how did Psycho know where he lived?
Oh, I'm sure you can Google anyone.
Still though.
Right.
And as a rule, and I've talked to many women, and I don't judge people. Okay.
Right.
I've talked to a lot of different women, and everybody has come to me saying the wife's house is completely off limits.
Oh, I would think so. Wouldn't you think so? Unless you knew she was out of town and it was safe.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah. Right? Then she comes back on the 14th. Now, Nate, the neighbor, he had to redact his statement of, I heard them yelling and screaming. Now, my theory is he had to redact it because they said, well, it couldn't have been them because Shanann wasn't in the state.
Oh, you think so?
But we know Chris had to talk her off a ledge on the 14th.
Right. So maybe he heard them rather than Shanann at all. Yeah. Okay.
Right. But if Ellie said, well, Shanann wasn't home, then Nate would have been like, okay, well, I guess I didn't.
Maybe I was wrong. Right.
And then, you got to go by Betty. And like I said, I have put Nate's footage up on a 40-inch television, uncut, unedited, direct from Weld.
Correct.
There is nothing. There were people on YouTube claiming at the very beginning that Chris backed in so he could load her into the bed of the truck. Well, they had to change that quick, didn't they, when they found out there were built-in toolboxes?
Right, and there was no room for anyone in the back.
Just like the light that lights up in the cab when the truck light goes off. Do you know what that is?
No, what is it?
That's Chris's computer logging into the truck.
Oh, okay. Wow. That makes sense. I swear in that video, I can see him, bending forward and with a heavy load and kind of lifting it upward before he continues his walk along the side of the truck. I can see that, and it looks like it could be a very heavy weight.
Again, if you're going to be dumb enough to drag bodies out or a body out where there's a camera.
Correct.
Don't you think you'd be rushing a little bit?
True.
He's not.
I don't know. I don't.
And come on. There's no way that you would be able, especially Cece, Rampage.
Right.
She's not going to sit at the stairs to wait for Daddy to put her in the truck.
That's true.
And I'm sorry, but there's no way Bella would sit there with her feet, which she couldn't have dangled her feet to her mother because there's two big clear totes sitting on the seat.
Right.
So they would have had to been on top of those.
You think so? Was there no room on the edge for two little girls? No? Okay.
It is so narrow in that truck. I've got a friend with the same truck.
Really? And even if you put the seats forward, the front seats, there's no room in the back. Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Because everything Chris said he loaded is documented in evidence coming out of the truck. The only odd thing was the orange Bic lighter because nobody smoked in their family.
You're frozen.
Oh, sorry. Am I back?
Okay.
Am I back?
Going in and out just a little. Good.
Okay, sorry.
You are. It's coming in and out, but I think you're okay.
Well, I told my family, I said, turn your damn Wi-Fi off. I need it.
Don't want to lose you.
But no, what I was saying.
Someone's texting me.
What I was saying was they documented an orange Bic lighter.
Okay. Where was that? In the truck?
It was, I believe it was in the door or on the floor of the front passenger side.
Okay.
And nobody smoked.
Okay.
Now you have to remember they were watching the house, but they weren't watching the work truck.
Right.
And how many times did Chris say, I wish I was still just a rover, because being a rover meant he didn't need to deal with health and safety. His promotion made him have to deal with health and safety.
Right. Well,
and
I don't know.
My other thing is I understand Anadarko letting her go, but how come the company that contracts her out let her go too?
I mean, I don't know, except for the fact that they didn't want any of their employees to be involved with a murder case. I don't know what legal rights they'd have to, to
but
apply that.
Two companies let her go. Two, not one, two.
Right.
And like I said, the other thing too is the fact that she only just started there in April.
True.
So that's May, June, July, August. That's not even a 6-month contract.
I know.
Okay. She just signed her apartment lease. Everything was brand new.
True.
Everything.
True.
She came in and out like a magician.
But she had lived there all her life. Am I right? She lived there most of her life.
As far as I know she traveled a lot, you know, so she was worldly, you know. And again, it's not that I have nothing against that woman. I'm just pulling facts.
Sure. No, again, I see what you mean. Totally.
From Tuesday, when those dogs came to go through, the FBI had the case from Tuesday.
Yes.
Which means Frederick and CBI are just helpers. There's a document that
you're freezing.
Oh, I'm freezing again.
Oh, no, you're okay now.
Sorry, it was a green lighter. I thought it was orange. I'm sorry. Thank you, True Crime.
Seconds.
But like I said, this isn't about anything other than getting Shanann justice.
Correct. And those babies, I mean, who wouldn't want, justice? Right. And someone is saying here, what is this? I lost it. I was going to read one of the, none of you know what they have because we were not given everything. That is correct. That's Melissa Burba again.
we weren't given anything. Like I said, other than a polygraph machine that the judge won't even let in the courtroom, and Chris saying he did it, there is no evidence to prove he did it.
That's I know, but usually confession is kind of like the holy grail of
well, you would think
evidence.
I'm sorry, but if you're a judge, you would at least think the judge would say, well, what do you got?
True. But I think that with accepting the plea deal, they're accepting the fact that he is responsible.
And let's go to the plea deal. Look at one of the charges. One of the charges is the unlawful termination of a pregnancy causing the mother to die.
I know. That was opposite. They got that wrong. I mean,
why is there blood on the top of Shanann's t-shirt? And don't tell me it's the red clay, because the whole t-shirt should be like that then.
I don't know. I have no idea, except
and in a downward dog position, it couldn't have come from the baby coming out.
Right.
It's not going to roll up her and only get the top. Because the blood,
would there be any blood coming up from the damage to her throat? I don't know. There was
no damage to her throat.
Right.
We've done the autopsy. Definitely strangled.
Right. Okay.
Right. So again, with the eyes, the blood's not going to be there for Chris to see and then go away again. And it's not in the autopsy. There was nothing. She had white opaque eyes or something, he said.
Right. Okay. There's no evidence of it being blood shot. Right.
And like I said, this is a big one too. Okay. So you're telling me Chris killed all three?
Yes.
I'm not saying you, I'm saying,
Right. In general, right.
But yet the man doesn't even come out with a bruise. True. And yet we know for a fact Bella fought.
True.
She would have been kicking, biting, clawing, whatever the case may be. So how did Chris come out of that without a freaking mark on him and do all this digging and all this burying, plus fix the issue that they're working on, and just be, again, if he did it, great, good job, but prove it.
True.
Because Bella fought. Now, Chris showed up in flip-flops, shorts, and a t-shirt, took his shirt off, nothing other than maybe a little mark here. Okay?
Right. And I always thought that might have come from Bella rather than Shanann.
Right? But NK comes in on the hottest day recorded in Colorado wearing jeans, socks, running shoes, and a jacket.
I know, but I've talked about that before too. Is that a lot of times when I go into a building in air conditioned
It'll be
summertime, I get
cold.
cold. Right.
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 But again, Chris killed 3 people and came out without even a bruise.
That's true. But I think Shanann, he might have even attacked her when she was asleep. I mean, that's what I kind of thought from the beginning too. But maybe not. I don't know. But then with the babies,
But again,
Cece,
just the time it would take him alone, just him. Let's say the kids are still sleeping.
Right.
By the time he gets her from that bed on his own, down all those stairs, and then again, the dogs walked right through the garage. They didn't even pause.
Correct. Right.
Okay. By the time that happens, there's going to be proof that somebody was dead in that house.
That's true.
Physically and scientifically for these dogs.
Makeup. Where do you think they were killed? In your opinion?
They were somewhere else.
Okay.
I think that they were held somewhere else. I believe it was almost a test, maybe to see what Chris would do, or prove that he doesn't give a shit about her. I don't know, but for whatever reason, and like I said, he never gives off that cocky. No. He knew he wasn't the forefront in the house, and he was okay with being where he was because he didn't like stuff.
Right.
Okay, so what do you mean by stupid dogs? There were 3 different cadaver dogs that went through. 3 separate teams went through, and not one dog commanded.
I can choke. What?
No. Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Postmortem artifact, right?
Okay, but why in the autopsy it does not say anything about blood in her eyes? And
yeah, I wonder. I really wonder.
Send it to me. Send it right to me, because that is not cataloged in that. And it doesn't just go away. Just like full rigor, if she was killed Monday, that woman should have just been flat like Jello in the grave, especially with the heat for 3 days. That accelerates everything.
Right, it accelerates the decomposition process, and I'm sure maybe the rigor as well.
If she died on Monday, she should not, in that heat, be in rigor. Rigor will only last longer if the bodies are stored somewhere cold.
Okay. Wow. And what does it get down to at night there? I mean, I know in California, it'll get down pretty cold during the night occasionally.
Oh, yeah, it's going to get cold at night. But again, you're talking from... Again, 7. Well, he arrives at Survey at 7. He still has to drag her out there, and there's no drag marks, there's no tire marks, but yet she's buried X amount of hundred of feet away by himself. Then he kills 2 kids separately, gets rid of them, but still comes out without a freaking scratch or bruise. And Bella, Bella was fighting.
I know.
And that blue New York blanket, that's one of those heavy things. That's not blowing anywhere.
True.
Right? So it was never there.
Well, I don't know. And I don't know. I think maybe it was you that mentioned there were no fibers in their mouths or anything like that.
No fibers found in their throat or their nostrils.
Okay.
And if you go to Cece's autopsy, it's not even conclusive. It says it's a probability.
Right. Smothering. Right. I wonder about what NK were to, I don't know. Is she maybe someone who does self-harm or something? And is that a possibility? Do we know anything about that, about her history?
That's the thing. Nobody can really find anything concrete on this woman.
About her. No, not at all. And I wonder where the heck that woman is now. I mean, not that we need to go invade her privacy or anything like that, but I really wonder what happened to her, where she went. But, so you think that Jim, who do you think actually killed Shanann? How did that work?
I want to say, because the way that woman, I mean, this isn't even I want your husband, I don't like you. She won't even say her name until she's asked to. And then it's like she's spitting nails.
Right.
So I believe she killed Shanann and somebody else killed the kids.
Okay. Interesting. And you don't think, the way Chris looks and sounds and the way he acts, I think that you're correct. I don't see him as being a killer either. But then when he talks about the crimes, when he talked to Tammy and Coder,
But
and
he wouldn't talk. He wouldn't talk about the girls, would he?
no. But he did finally in that interview in Wisconsin in February of 2019.
Yeah.
But he talked about it so coldly, as if he was talking about what the family had for, dinner or something like that. And that really bothers me.
Right. But again, what's the one thing in this world that would make you go to jail and keep your mouth shut?
You're right. Someone threatening me by saying they're going to hurt my family, or if it would help my daughter in any way. I think that to help my daughter, I'd go to jail for, anything.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
I'd go to jail for my kids before I'd even go to jail for my husband.
Sure. Oh, definitely. Yeah. My husband.
But if I'm protecting their lives.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. True. But then I think that, I don't know, I'd be smart enough to know that if I told, if I told the newspaper or any kind of media that someone is threatening me, that they would get that word out, and then my family would be very safe. I think I would be smart enough to know that you can stop that sort of thing from happening unless it was some sort of a big organized crime. Or maybe Chris is not smart enough to know that there are many avenues you can take to prevent anything happening to, especially this far along into it. Why won't he just, call an attorney or call anyone, call a newspaper and say, I'm ready to tell the truth? And, I don't know. Don't you think you would do that? Probably try to rat on them publicly so that it would be prevented.
I believe he's been leaving breadcrumbs from the beginning.
I think so. Okay.
And so I would just want to answer Melissa again. If he used his hand, he would have had bite marks.
No, not if it was through the blanket, though, would he?
No, she's saying, okay, so because the evidence we're giving her just proves what she thinks, she's coming out with different scenarios now about it. So, because shit, no, I lost who it was. Somebody said to her, well, there were no fibers. So now she's saying, well, there wouldn't be if he smothered them with his bare hand. If he smothered them with his bare hand, they would have bit them.
True. He would have scratched on it.
Look at Bella.
Right.
And again, I'm not trying to make shit up. I'm telling you what's in the damn discovery. And I agree with you. We do not have the right. We don't even have the actual autopsies, because one autopsy is not a freaking paragraph. And they never even marked down the scar on Shanann's eye or her surgery on her neck.
I know, that was odd.
They said that there was nothing.
And the fact that Chris did not mention that scar, was that you again? I think it was you who said that Chris did not even mention that scar on his neck when he was questioned by the police department. Remember when they called him and asked if they have any scars or tattoos?
No, but that was after he talked to Graham, and he did tell him that.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Because that phone call comes in at 2 a.m. After he spoke to Graham.
Okay. So he already told them about everything that he knew about scars and things like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. I mean, I love this because, the way I think of it is that she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and everything she did to cover up what she had done had to do with the fact that she was not very bright, and she wanted to cover the fact that she was involved with someone who probably just annihilated his family. But
again, though, why are you lying?
Right.
Consistently to the feds? That's jail time.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Right?
I know.
Now let's talk about the video, the one with her dad. When she's in the park and she pulls her phone out. Now, first and foremost, I got slammed a year ago in my other group that got stolen from me because I said, it's the same phone. Her personal phone was her work phone. And she tells you herself, Anna Darko pays for it.
Right. Okay.
They pay the bill. And when she pulls that phone out, her dad says, what the hell happened to your phone? Is that one of those no smash cell phone crack cover things or whatever? Wasn't she just with Daddy at the museum on Sunday?
She was, right.
Wouldn't Daddy have noticed that on Sunday?
Unless it just happened, and how would it have happened? My daughter,
that's, oh my gosh, severely, right? But I'm just saying, it's all these little inconsistencies.
True.
You can put a man away for 5 life sentences just because he said he did it.
Correct.
But yet
right.
You can't put all this actual factual evidence together.
True.
Like I know what you mean.
Oh, absolutely. And there are so many things they're out there leading towards her guilt, but for me, it all goes back to motive. Unless, like you said, she may have had a vendetta against Shanann specifically. Um, if she was only this girl who had an affair with this married man, what's the motive, you know? But
Yeah.
if there was a deeper story, a bigger picture, like you are indicating there might have been, then that's, you know, fascinating. I don't know. And what I wonder is, can we not all chip in and hire a private detective to look over? I mean, would that be something?
Well, this is the thing too, right? If you hire a lawyer, a post-conviction lawyer, they automatically come with an investigator.
Oh, okay.
So you're getting a 2-for-1.
Sure.
You know,
Okay.
and Melissa, I'm not saying it's silly, but what I'm saying is, yes, Chris could absolutely kill both those kids with his hands, but there's no freaking way he can kill 3 people and come out without any scratches, especially killing Bella.
Right. And she struggled. But I mean,
even the agent said that. The agent said she fought. The agents have said to Chris, this doesn't match. And he still doesn't know that she was killed from behind. He's never once said that. If you're going to confess, why are you lying? What have you got to lose? Nothing.
Right. I don't know. Oh my gosh, you know, I
just want people to think. I just want you to stop and quit going by the narrative and think for yourself and piece the evidence together.
Absolutely.
And this is my big thing too. The Patrick Frazee case. Now, I don't remember the name of the girl that was murdered.
I don't either. Yeah.
But was it the mistress name was Heidi?
Maybe.
Or something. Anyways. Okay. So that case, again, he killed his baby mama, had his mistress, blah, 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 blah. They've already been to trial. Okay. She turned on him. She gave them evidence. So she only gets 3 years. Kessinger didn't give us shit.
Right.
Except go on and on and on about her and make herself look like a tramp.
Right.
Really.
That's
if you
true.
think about what she's actually given us, all she did was make herself look worse.
Oh, absolutely.
She did not help the investigation whatsoever, you know? And then you got her dad making comments, or when she says, if he confesses, will there be a trial? Kopech's answer was no. Then her dad says, if he signs a plea deal, no, she's sorry. I apologize. I got to back up. If he confesses, will there be a trial? No. If he takes, or will the trial end, or the investigation, not the trial. Sorry. If he takes a plea deal, will the investigation stop? Yes. Her dad said, if he or he takes the plea deal, okay, one was the investigation. Oh, will there be a trial? And Kopech said no. Well, what magically happened?
Yeah, there was a plea deal, right?
He confessed and took a plea deal.
No, I think that, again, you know, I'm saying if it was
just way too many coincidences.
There are so many. And I wonder if she's very unlucky that, you know, so many things look bad. But I mean, I think what I think is, if you were to say, or not you, anybody were to say, well, I think neighbor Nate is guilty. Look, he likes the cops, you know, he had the motive, or he had the means, he had the opportunity. He has snuck in and killed them all, you know, whatever. I mean, we can make anyone look, not even look. I mean, we can use evidence and bend it, or not even bend it, kind of lead it, let it lead. Look at me. I can't even talk anymore. What's wrong with me? Blah, blah. I think that either she is the dumbest criminal in the world, or she was just very unlucky, and, you know, it looks as if she could have been involved in the whole thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Right.
What I was saying with the Patrick Frazee case, now that happened in and around the days where Chris signed the plea deal.
True. Okay.
How much information can you find on the internet?
Nothing. For the Frazee, yeah.
Okay. So we've got text messages, we've got Venmo pictures.
We have so much, right?
We've got half of the discuss. Why is the FBI giving that to us? Because it's their case. They're the only one that can leak it.
True. And why are they holding back the information they are holding back? That's always bothered me. What is in there? You know, I mean, what can't we see and why?
Right. But now, like I said, I've got a team and my team has people and so on and so forth. We've got doctors, we've got counselors, we've got a U.S. Marshal, we've got somebody that knows somebody that works in the district attorney, not that district attorney's office, but a district attorney.
Right,
so
right.
I'm not just pulling shit out of my hat. Like
Oh,
I'm just
no,
like,
you've got so much. I mean,
you know?
so much. Yeah.
And again, like I said, my favorite thing that Kopech says is you cannot debate science. When she meets Kopech for the first time, he says, well, it's either going to be what you give us or what we've already got.
Sure.
Because they already had everything.
Sure.
They didn't care that she deleted anything because you got to be crazy in the year 2020 or even at 2018.
It's going to be gone if you delete it, right?
They've got systems that can find stuff you deleted 5 years ago.
Right, right. Yeah,
right?
Nothing is ever deleted anymore. I know. I agree.
Where's Chris's Vivint doorbell camera footage? Where's that?
I know.
Besides Shanann coming home. And like you said, we can point in lots of directions.
Sure.
I can, right? Who called in a wellness check at 9? Nicole Atkinson.
Sure, we could look at her too. And I've actually heard people look at her and say that she might be guilty, right?
But she hadn't even been to Shanann's yet.
No, exactly. Right.
Again, I'm not saying, I'm just giving you the evidence. Why was she afraid she was going to be arrested and pissed off that they wanted to question her some more?
Right.
Why did she automatically think she was being charged for something? And her husband's yelling in the background, and her son found a cell phone in that great big house.
True. So we could point to her too,
right? Again.
Right.
And if you look at it, what is one of the biggest issues with whether you're a family annihilator or whatever? It always comes back to money. Well, besides the roof tax, who's sitting on top of the money pile now?
No one. Who?
Who's benefited financially from this? How many more thousands are buying Thrive from Nicole Atkinson?
Oh, you're right. So you could actually say that it could have been her. Oh my God.
I'm not saying it was.
Of course not. No. She's a wonderful lady.
Prove it. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
I don't think Nicole's guilty. But again, Nicole's the one that called the media.
She did. You're right. And so someone can make a case by saying she looks more suspicious than really anyone there. And
again, we even
was there to help her cover her tracks or whatever. Sure. And did she even go home that night? Did she drive down the street, park her car, and walk back to the house?
Again, I'm not saying she's guilty. Please don't think that. I'm not accusing anybody. But again, when you go into a court of law, you must be proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Beyond a reasonable doubt, right.
I've got 85 notebooks of reasonable doubt that can go in any direction.
Sure.
Even Nosy Nate. How did he know Shanann was diabetic? First of all, she's not diabetic.
No, she's not at all.
Why did he make that statement to the cop?
I have, but hers was because of her pregnancy.
But why did he make that statement?
I don't know. I mean, could they have had a barbecue and they were talking about her low sugar or nothing? No.
There's no proof of that in Shanann's Facebook.
And I wonder if Nate was able to hear a lot more coming from that house than he should have. I really wonder.
But and again, guys watching, I'm not attacking Nicole Atkinson. No. I don't even know. Not. But I'm saying use your brain and connect shit together. It could be anybody.
It could be anyone, right?
Right? We watched the body cam again. And instead of watching what Chris was doing, we watched what Nicole was doing. And she did the same shit Chris was doing.
She was the same thing, same body, the way she was holding her body, the way she was walking, the way she was looking around. It was very similar behavior from both of them. And, I've heard people say, well, she was projecting her worry outward, whereas he was projecting it inward. And you can tell by their body language. No, they were both behaving exactly the same. I agree with that.
Again, I'm not saying, please understand, I am not saying anything like that. I'm just saying there are things that don't look good.
Right. For a lot of people.
A lot of them. Everybody's prosecuting the Watts. They don't even live in the damn state, but they're saying they're involved.
Oh my gosh, how awful. Yeah. On top of everything they have to go through, they have to deal with that.
Right. But like I said, I brought up Leonard King.
Right.
You
Right.
know, I've brought in
Yeah.
numerous people that have blatantly, just me, Mercy. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not saying anything wrong. I'm sorry if the truth from the discovery doesn't fit with you, but that's not my fault.
Right. Right. It's it's out there for anyone to read and interpret any way they need to or want to or
And
whatever.
there is not one person that can say that I have ever bashed anybody.
Oh, of course not. No, you're
I don't
wonderful.
even allow that in my
Very,
work.
yeah, you're very diplomatic about everything you do, and I appreciate that.
Right. And then
But
again, like I said, what is the one thing everybody brings up in their life about bad karma, right?
oh, absolutely, Karma's going to get whoever, you know, whether it is Chris or one. I think Karma already got him, but
And
whoever was
another thing
involved.
people don't understand is Shanann and Nicole weren't good friends. Nicole was Sandy's friend.
Oh, initially, that's how they met, I believe,
Chris
right?
didn't even know her kid's name.
Oh, okay, okay.
So,
But he
yes, they
called.
hung out with the little ones and Thrive stuff,
Sure, sure.
but she was Sandy's friend.
Initially, I think that's how they met. I think Shanann and Nicole met that way, and then they became, you know, friends on their own.
Right. But
Right.
again, there aren't pictures all in Shanann's Facebook or videos of Nikki being there always having
Sure.
barbecues and stuff, even.
That's true. Right, right, right.
There's no digital, only when they're at Thrive stuff. But again,
Okay.
I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is there are facts and evidence in the discovery that you can't debate. They're not my fault. I'm not making them up.
Right.
I'm
They're
not
facts
sitting
and they're
here.
laid out in black and white. Right.
Right. I'm not sitting here making up lies about anybody.
No, I agree. Of course not. No,
So why are certain people that are watching now pissed at me because I brought her name into it? Well, I'm sorry. These are facts in the discovery.
oh, absolutely, absolutely, and we
So
know
instead
that.
of attacking me, why don't you ask her why
Right.
she thought she was going to be arrested? Why was she angry? I'm sorry, if somebody wanted to question me about somebody I cared about, I wouldn't leave the damn police station.
Oh, absolutely. I would not. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why. Um, Miranda rights are only required when the police are questioning you in the context of criminal investigation and hope to or desire to use your statements as evidence against you. Hmm. I don't know why they wouldn't read them though, as they were.
You are supposed to be read your Miranda rights at time of arrest because again, Chris was never interrogated. Chris was voluntarily interviewed. Everything Chris Watts did was voluntary.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
They didn't ever have to wait for a warrant. Not
No,
one time. The only warrant they had to wait
signed
for
them. Right.
was Anadarko.
Okay.
And they had the drones out there before Chris was even done the poly. He hadn't even started the poly yet.
No, I know. And they were, yeah, they had sent the drones out and they had, you know, the photographs to show him immediately the land, and you could see the sheet and everything right there while he was in the interrogation before he confessed to anything.
Right.
Now I wonder if
and just so we're clear, I don't worry about karma.
No,
because I live by the way that I'm sorry, I'm Catholic. I live by his example. I do for others before I do for myself.
Oh, me too.
So
totally.
again, and like I said, I'm not sitting here talking shit about anybody.
No,
I'm giving you the facts.
You're giving the facts that you found in the discovery and other places that are facts, and you're
right.
Trying to figure out where they
Atkinson called the cops at 9 a.m. They didn't follow through, neither did she. That's a fact. Nicole Atkinson called or went to the house at 10 after 12 for the first time because it rings on Chris's phone. That's a fact. Nicole's son found her phone on that couch in that great big house in a matter of 2 minutes. That's a fact. There's video of them calling her to talk to her again, of her yelling and screaming at her husband, why do you need to talk to me? What am I being charged with? That's another fact. So why is anybody wishing karma on me now?
Oh, that's terrible. Are they doing that in the chat?
Yeah, just me,
I'm
Marcy.
So sorry. I can't.
Just me, Marcy.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it because again, I'm just speaking truth. And if you can't handle the truth, that's on you, not me.
Right, right. No, I mean, you're wonderful. Everything. I love the way you've investigated everything. And you dedicate so much time to coming to the truth. And even though I still, you know, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be looked at. Mm-hmm.
But
And I
by the
still
end
believe,
of this, or even when you and I have talked, you
mm-hmm.
cannot say that you've ever hung up going,
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
right?
definitely.
You
Oh,
know, and yes,
definitely. Absolutely.
fact,
Every time
Chris said he did it. Yes, he did,
Mhm.
Marcy. But the fact is, there are innocent people. Kim Kardashian is getting out people that have been in prison.
Oh, God.
Okay? Innocent people
Maybe
confess
that's where we need to look
every
for help.
single day. And if they
Right.
didn't, there would not be Innocence Projects.
That's true. And there are a lot of like Rhonda Glover. Oh my gosh, the fact is she killed her ex, but why she did it is very, very, very important. And they didn't even look at that. And the woman needs to be out. She's been in jail, I think, what is it, Cher, like 17 years now or something like that.
Mhm.
And there are people like that who will kill in self-defense, or people who weren't even part of the crime period
Yeah.
who are locked up right now. Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely.
Right. So again, and like I
Absolutely.
said, I want people to understand I'm not on a side.
Right.
There's no
There is no
sides in
side.
this.
There's the side of Shanann and the babies, and that's it, you
And
know.
whether you like me or not, or any of those things,
Oh, I love you.
no, but I mean anybody, right? It's not the point. The point is, no matter what you believe or what you think, if you're in a group, you
Mhm.
don't believe the truth. You
And
don't believe what's been
you're right.
told to you.
You want more information, you want to figure it out. Because there
And
are so many
again,
details that don't make sense. I agree with that.
right,
Yeah.
there was a wonderful woman who was gorgeous and smart and funny and talented, and she was an amazing mom, and she was a good wife, and Chris was a good husband. They made a team. They both said that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Oh,
go back to Shanann's, right? Let's go back to there. You read her text messages that week where she says, you know, Chris, thank you for letting me hold you this morning. That means Chris was sleeping with her.
right. Oh, of course he was. Yeah, I agree
She
with that.
messaged one of her friends, sorry I didn't get back to you. I wanted to give Chris my full attention. This is the best talk we've had in 5 weeks.
True.
He's coming back around. We're
So why
going
would
away. And when he
right?
looked up the Audi, there's a
Mm-hmm.
video on Shanann's Facebook. The Audi was her dream car.
Oh wow, wow. Well, I mean, I think that I don't know. People say he may have just snapped. I don't think he snapped.
Oh, somebody snapped. All right. And I
Yeah.
believe it was Saturday night.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Wow. Wow. And I don't know why we can't get this woman in for, you're right, extra questioning. I don't know why we
Or
can't
why
even
wouldn't she come out and say, listen, I want to prove to you guys I'm not guilty?
get an attorney spokesperson and just, have him talk for her,
She's
whatever.
already got one. She had one before Chris did.
Yeah, but I mean, that right now, we don't know if she has an attorney, if she's living her life as, Sue Jones or something in Florida. We don't know where she is or what she's doing. And you're right, though. If I were her, rather than, what she's been doing is coming on YouTube and telling people that, trying to get the videos banned where they're talking badly about her.
And
Come
again,
on,
I'm not
have her
talking
come out
bad
and
about
talk.
her. I'm
No,
just giving you
you're
guys
giving
the
us
evidence.
that could possibly lead to, her involvement, which is totally you're right, and you do it very well. And
Right. And again, please forgive me. I wasn't trying to say Nicole Atkinson did
oh heavens,
anything.
no,
But I'm
no.
saying if you do piece stuff together, anybody could look guilty in this. But the
Oh,
fact
sure.
of the matter is, no matter which side you're on, I'm not on a side. I'm
No,
on
I'm not.
Shanann's side and Bella's side and
Mm-hmm.
Cece's and Nico's.
Mm-hmm.
And all I know is from right now, at this moment, on this day, they did not get real justice.
No, there are so many unanswered questions, and I personally believe he's right where he belongs. And
Right.
I do believe he did this, but
there are questions and
sure, there are
facts
so many questions that are
that make you
unanswered.
think at least somebody else had to be involved.
Oh, sure. I mean, I don't. I honestly think I believe in that Occam's razor or whatever the simplest answer is usually correct, but I completely see what you're talking about with all these loose ends dangling out there that nobody has an answer for. And
Right.
oh, pardon me, like allergies. I'm gonna sneeze.
No, it's
but,
okay. It's okay.
oh my god! But
we're good. We're not on national television, so we're good.
I know. What if we were, right?
I know. If I had you on my phone, we would have been out for a cigarette by now.
Oh, how funny! Now, I know that Oh, you know what? It's saying my battery is low. I did not bring down my charger. Oh my God.
No worries, girl. But like I said, all I want all your viewers to know is all my goal is, and anything I'm doing is real justice. Where whatever it ends up being, I don't care, as long as everybody that did whatever they did is being held responsible.
I agree. And thank you, Tammy, so much for coming on here and telling us everything you're thinking, because you are a very eloquent speaker. And I was so thrilled when you said you'd come on my little tiny YouTube channel. You are welcome to come back anytime. I would love to have you anytime.
Perfect. And like I said, again, it's not about sides. It's just about real justice.
There are no sides. The side of the victim,
like I said, if we all join forces, look what we could accomplish.
And bound the resources together that everyone had. I mean, I've got nothing. I'm just, a mom. But I mean, the other people, the other YouTubers, the other forum owners,
even on Facebook, why does it have to be a battle and a fight? If we all want,
I don't know why everyone argues.
Right? If we all want the same end game.
And we do. All we want is justice. I mean, I totally agree. Absolutely. Right. And I feel badly for the families, of course. Both families are victims. Nobody's a bad guy when it comes to the families. They're all beautiful people, and I would want to work to help them get through this. A little bit.
And that's all that Chris's family. They don't care if it's Chris. Great, but please just prove it to us.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And I hopefully one day someone's going to do something about all this and officially.
Well, I'm trying. My team and I are trying. Let me tell you.
You are doing a great job. Oh my God. And give Cindy my love. And
I will.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me. And please, I don't want people to think that I'm bashing anybody. I'm not. I really am not.
No, not at all.
And I don't mean it in that way. I don't. Again, whoever was the killers, then yes, they deserve to rot in jail. But everybody else they're all victims.
Oh, absolutely. And I think you don't come across that way at all. We're just discussing the possibilities, and you do a great job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, my dear. And I will talk to you shortly somewhere else.
I love you so much. We'll talk soon.
Bye, guys. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining in.
No worries. Bye-bye.